Hello, this is Edith Newmeyer, and I want to continue my video. In my last video, I did a lot of information, general information, about the temple and where it was standing and how this whole thing is. There's a connection, and gave some information about Ron Wyatt, do some research on him. And so today I want to continue on Second Thessalonians. Why? Because again, this supposed man of lawlessness or son of destruction will put himself in the temple. Now we know that this is in again Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. Okay, actually, it's already, let's start reading from verse 1. And it talks about this man of lawlessness. So let's read this first. Now we request you, brethren, with regards to the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our gathering together to him. So he's talking about the rapture here. His return includes the rapture. And that you may not be quickly shaken from your composure or be disturbed either by a spirit or a message or a letter as if from us to the effect that the day of the Lord has come. So they were afraid that the day of the Lord has already come and the rapture has already happened. I don't know. So anyways, he's saying, no, don't be worried. The day of the Lord has not started yet and the rapture has not happened. So, verse 3, let no one in any way deceive you, okay? Because that is so important. Don't be deceived at all, okay? Which is so rampant today. So let no one in any way deceive you, for it will not come unless the apostasy comes first. The apostasy. Now, what is the apostasy? Some say the falling away. Now, what are we falling away? Well, we're falling away from the faith. Okay? So, remember, Paul wrote this 2,000 years ago. Okay? 2,000 years ago. And he's saying 2,000 years ago, wait a minute, they expected Jesus' return right then. And he says, don't worry, he has not come back. Okay? First, the apostasy has to happen. Now, apostasy or the falling away is a big, major thing, okay? Now, some people today think, oh, this is still something from the future. But if you're looking back historically, did we have an apostasy before? And when did that apostasy happen? I would say yes, pretty much. I would say that when the church was in the Dark Ages and the Roman Catholic Church had a hold of the church, definitely there was an apostasy. Matter of fact, anybody who was holding on to the truth was killed during Dark Ages, during the Inquisition. Nothing else happened, existed except the Roman Catholic Church, and the Roman Catholic Church did not believe in being saved through faith. So nobody believed in that they were actually saved. They all believed that they had to be saved through works, and so not very many people, heard the message about about you're saved through faith. So I believe this apostasy can very well be applied to the falling away that happened during that time, during the Middle Ages, let's say that, or the Dark Age, or the Dark Ages. So it says here, continues to say, for it will not come unless the apostasy, falling away from the truth, okay? Again, that's what it is, falling away from the truth, And the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. Some people believe this is the Antichrist. Okay, that we have this Antichrist, right? Which I already said in some of my videos that I don't necessarily believe that this is the Antichrist. There's many Antichrist spirits, and of course, this lawless one is in the spirit of the Antichrist. But I think it's very confusing when somebody says, oh, this is the Antichrist. We have so many like Antichrists, right? Oh, Obama is the Antichrist, and now Trump is the Antichrist for some, and Macron is the Antichrist, 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 Antichrist. But this is a specific man, the man of lawlessness. So, and the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God. Now, this person has really a lot of power, or object of worship, okay, or object of worship, so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, displaying himself as being God. So this person, and I'm not calling him Antichrist, I'm calling him son of perdition or son of lawlessness, is setting himself into the temple. So we saw in my previous video about the Ephesians. We saw what Paul thought about the temple. Who does Paul refer to as the temple? Okay, what does he think the temple is? Well, he knows, right? He believes the temple is what? The church. So that he takes his seat in the temple of God. Now here we say, what comes first? The apostasy. And right after the apostasy and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the son of destruction. So there's a connection between the apostasy and the man of lawlessness. Okay? So think about that. And this guy of lawlessness, exalts himself above everything, even above God, worship, objects of worship, and he even takes his seat in the temple of God. Who again is the temple of God? See, people always jump to the conclusion the temple of God is the physical temple. That's because we've been so indoctrinated to believe that. Okay, we have been so indoctrinated. We're not indoctrinated in saying, oh, the temple of God is the church. That's the temple of God. No, we've been indoctrinated now for quite a long time to believe the temple of God is the Jewish temple. Okay, not the Christian church, but the Jewish temple. And so we know, again, from this Ephesians, what was it? Ephesians 2, I believe, that the temple of God is the church, and that God is building that temple, right? We know that. So why are we jumping to this belief that, oh, the temple of God, it must be a physical temple, the third physical temple? Why are we jumping to that belief? Don't understand. But again, this is just saying he puts himself above every object of worship so that he takes his seat in the temple of God, displaying himself as being God. Do you not remember that while I was still with you, I was telling you these things? And you know what restrains him now, so that in his time he may be revealed. So there was still a restraining happening during Paul's time. But in his time, he will be revealed. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. So during even Paul's time, this lawless was already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. And then that lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord will slay with the breath of his mouth and bring to an end by the appearance of his coming. That is the one whose coming is in accordance with the activity of Satan, with all power and signs and false wonders. Okay? And with all the deception of wickedness for those who perish because they do not receive the love of the truth, so as to be saved. So he's saying everybody who's following this deception, he's talking about the deception coming, and with all the deception of wickedness, for those who perish because they do not receive the love of the truth so as to be saved. And for this reason, God will send upon them a deluding influence so that they might believe what is false, in order that they all may be judged who did not believe the truth, but took pleasure in wickedness. But we should always give thanks to God for you, brethren, beloved by the Lord, because God has chosen you from the beginning for salvation, through sanctification by the Spirit and faith in truth. Okay? So, well, you can continue because there's, some really interesting things in that. But here is the point. Who is this son of lawlessness? Okay, who is that? Who is affiliated with the falling away, with the apostasy? Well, I'm going to say what I believe today, and you can please change my mind if you want to, and give me a different explanation. I have already told you, I don't believe that this temple is actually the third temple. Okay? I don't believe that this lawless one will come at the end of the time when the temple is rebuilt and he will put himself in the temple. There's no indication that this is going to happen in the third temple. He did not say the third temple. Now, during the time this was written, during Paul, the temple was still standing. Okay? Temple was still standing. But Paul was preaching very clearly that God is building the temple right now. And that's the real temple of God. So who is this man, this lawless one, that sits himself into the church and pretends to be God and does all these bad things? Now we can follow this guy. This is the same guy. Okay, many believe, and I don't call him Antichrist. I call him son of perdition, son of lawlessness. You can also find this guy, and I'm going to just bring it in because next time I'll talk about him. This guy that is in Revelation 13. That can be the same guy because he's described very similar. Very similar. Okay? Described very similar. And that same guy in Revelation 13, and I'm talking about the beast from the sea, is the same. And again, this is not the guy. Okay, this is not a guy. When you look at Revelations, you will know that the beast is not one man, but beast is always a system. Okay, beast is always a system, like the Roman Empire, the Persian Empire, the Babylonian Empire. Those were beasts. Okay, they are beasts, and so is this beast. This is a beast. That means it is an empire, and I believe the same is the case with this lawless one. This lawless one. It says here, the man of. It says the son of destruction, the lawless, the man of lawlessness, and the son of destruction. He is naming it as a single person, but I don't believe that this is referring to as a single person, but rather a system. So who is that system? That's the question. Okay. I believe it is the Roman Catholic system. Okay. It is the Pope or the Pope system. It is the Pope who put himself into the temple of God, into the church, and who exalted himself to the point of taking Jesus's place on this earth, or the Holy Spirit's place on this earth. He calls himself the vicar of Christ. So he is saying that I am the representative of Jesus in this world. And because I'm the representative of Jesus in this world, I can make the decision that also Jesus or God can make. Okay? He believes he has all the authority that belong to God on this earth. Okay, so that's why I believe it's very, very, and I don't know 100% sure, okay, but it sounds to me like that's exactly what is going on. Okay, the son of perdition, the lawless one, you know, it says here, every so-called God who opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God. Think about that. So every so-called God. Have you, and I have to address right now something. Have you seen that every leaders of any denominations, of any religions, go to the Pope and treat him like he is the exalted person over everything? They kiss his hands. They fall down before him in a sense, okay? And in almost sense worship him. I see it I mean, everybody, okay? The Muslims, the Christians, the Buddhists, everybody looks at the Pope as the authority in this world, the God in this world, in a sense. Okay, I am very shocked. I have seen pictures lately, and it just became so obvious to me when I look at pictures of people visiting the Pope. Every time some women visit the Pope and they stand before him, they are all dressed in black with a veil. Dressed in black with a veil. And the girls I see, the girls are dressed in white. Okay, now why is that? I saw just recently Trump's daughter. Trump's daughter, who is Jewish, okay, stands before the Pope, kissing his hand and dressing in black and having a black veil. So does Trump, Melania, Trump's wife, okay, who's not even supposedly not even Catholic. I don't know what he is. Who knows what he is? Anyways, but point is that these people, and I've seen it with other people as well, you know, other dignitaries that visit the Pope, They're all dressed in black, and the women veiled, with black veils. What is that? I actually wanted to look it up and do a video about it, because for me it's amazing how these women are being treated. um, you know uh, still being treated by the Pope. Okay, he's walking around with white clothes, like he's this shining whatever son of God or whatever it is, but I have never seen him in anything else but white. um, but he expects women to be dressed in black. And he has, people say, oh, he has changed so much. Yeah, well, then that's maybe the one thing he needs to change. And also, this kissing the hand on the stuff. I mean, he is not even a king. He is nothing, and look how he is being treated by the dignitaries of this world, the high ups. So he's being treated like he's higher up than them. So, yeah, I mean, I need to bring this in because I really believe that this lawless one is the papacy. And again, it's not just one man, okay? We're talking about papacy. And when we will talk about next week about the beast out of the sea, which will go along with Daniel's little horn, and then you will see it is the papacy. Okay, now people talk about it. Okay, people have talked about that, and you will probably find many things online. I have found many things online, about especially this the beast out of the sea. But the Thessalonians, the son of lawlessness, who will sit himself in the temple. Again, I had to bring it up in connections with the temple, because I don't believe that is going to be the third temple. Okay, this son of lawlessness is already sitting in the temple, and today we know that we had the Reformation, and we know that there are, evangelicals that have broken away, with the Roman Catholic, or Protestants that have broken away with the Catholic Church. But today, the Catholic Church, the Pope is very strong, and especially this Pope is very strong in bringing back all the Protestant churches that have fallen away from the Mother Church. Okay, I think I have even mentioned it, that, for instance, the Lutheran Church, he is very much trying to get the Lutheran Church to come back to the Roman Catholic Church. He is even now admitting that, oh yeah, you guys are right, you're only saved through faith. We believe that. So there is no reason why in the world we still have to be separated. So come back to the Mother Church, which is, of course, the Catholic Church, right? And he is doing the same thing with other evangelical churches, especially charismatic churches, and these um, leaders, these Christian leaders that have gathered around Trump. These are most likely, and I have not done the research, but I know some of them have actually made a very strong effort to, well, let's say that, kiss up to the Pope again. Okay, so if you do a research on the people that surround Trump, the Christians that surround Trump, they are also most likely Christians that are affiliated again stronger and stronger with the Pope, because they want, again, this one world religion, okay, with the Pope on top. And it is coming. People, it is coming, okay? The papacy, again, when we talk about that beast out of the sea, that is the papacy. Okay, and it is not one man, like Trump or Macron or whatever. It is not even a worldly leader. Okay, now Stephen Denon believes very strongly in that, and so I can actually mention him because he brings that up many times. I don't totally agree with him um, in everything, but he has some pretty interesting things. And I listen to people, and when the Holy Spirit is telling me, listen to that, then that's when I listen. So, again, today I'm going to finish up. I want you to read again 2 Thessalonians 2 and think about that. Is that temple of God that Paul mentioned in verse 4 a real temple, the temple like a physical building? Or could it be, is Paul more likely and was more likely to talk actually about the temple of God? The temple of God. In other words, the temple that Messiah is building right now. And I believe it is. I believe it is. It makes absolute more sense. Going back again then to this apostasy, again, is the apostasy that happened when the Roman Catholic Church took over. And when the Roman Catholic Church took over, the Pope took over. And he ruled the world for many, many, for hundreds of years, the Pope ruled the world. Okay? He was instrumental in making sure that only the people that he allowed became kings, okay, or emperors. So he held everything, together. And we will see, like, next time when I talk about this beast, that this guy, or this, I think it's a system, one of his heads was wounded. And you think, okay, one of his head was wounded. Did he get a head wound or something? Yeah, he did. And again, it's not a man, it's a system. Did that system, the Pope system, get wounded? Yes, it did. Okay, it actually did. So, all right. Well, today I'm going to finish up. And I'm already telling you what I'm going to do next week, because it's becoming more and more interesting. When we really look at these things, and from a different angle. From a different angle. We are so deceived. Why? Because there is a deceiver in this world who is trying to distract us from this real beast that is going to continue world dominion. Okay? And yeah, I definitely, believe that. And as we look at it, maybe your eyes will be opened. And again, I don't know. I mean, this is my take on this, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There's another guy that believes in this too, and his name is Fight. And I don't remember what his first name is. I'm gonna see if I can find some stuff about him. He is a seven-day Adventist, and I think they believe, the same thing. When you come across some of their studies, about these sections. So again, I'm going to finish today, read some of this stuff. I will write the information on the section below, this description section. And I will do another video next time about the beast of Revelation.